everyone, I'm Georgia. Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I'm going to be showing you how I've done this look. So since it's my first YouTube video, I have actually looked back at the first half and it is blurry. So bear with that. Hopefully towards the end it gets a little bit better. It's a classic case of all the gear, no idea. But to my one viewer out there, if you want to see how I've achieved this look, keep on watching. So before I put any of my foundation on, I do just want to start off with a little bit of skincare first. I'm going to use my moisturiser, which is the Cerave moisturiser, this massive tub. And I'm just going to pop that all over my face. And I'm just going to pop on some Kiehls Avocado eye cream as well. So I'm just pressing that under my eyes, just to get rid of any tiredness, eye bags. For primer, I'm going to use the BECCA Backlight Priming Filter. This is again just going to give us a little bit of a glow before I put any foundation on. So I'm just going to pop that all over. You want to avoid putting this sort of in the centre of your face. If you get oily skin, just pop it on your cheeks. So for foundation, I'm going to go in with the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. This is really nice for a medium to full coverage and it gives a nice glow as well to the skin. So I'm just going to pop that in downwards motions all over the face just until I've got quite a sort of medium coverage, and then I'm going to blend out with a sponge. So once all that's blended, I'm going to go in with a beauty blender just to sort of build the coverage, and it gives a bit more of a smoother finish. The brush sort of lays the coverage on for you without sort of absorbing any, whereas I think the sponges do absorb quite a lot. So I like to just go in a little bit after to sort of pat it out and give a nice even coverage. For concealer, I'm going to use the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer in the shade Light. So I'm just going to pop this on with my concealer buffer brush from Cerave under my eyes first. So I'm just sort of popping it all over my chin, sort of above my mouth and in between my brows as well. And then I'm just going to blend out with a sponge again. So once I'm happy with my coverage, I'm then going to start just popping a little bit of bronzer on, and I'm going to use the Chanel Universal Bronzer, and I'm going to be using my Cerave Sheer Cheek brush. So I'm just going to use it on my cheekbones and on my forehead just to sort of warm my skin up and start to contour. But by using a cream product rather than a powder, it sort of adds you a nice natural base ready for your powders to go on top. So once I've popped the bronzer on my cheeks, I'm just going to take it on my forehead. This is where you'll naturally sort of catch a tan, so you do want to make sure to pop it all over your forehead on the sides and above as well. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit on my nose, just on the sides and underneath. So I'm just going to pop my highlighter on, and it is the Doll Beauty Pretty Little Glow. So I'm going to pop that on with my Real Techniques setting brush. So I'm just going to pop that on my cheekbones in sort of like a C shape, so back into the temple as well, if that's my temple. And then is that my temple? There. I've just googled it, it is my temple. Was it just my school where like people used to say if you press on your temple too hard, you die? Like, I want to know if that's true because it seems very over-exaggerated. So I'm just going to pop some on my Cupid's bow as well, a little bit on my nose. I don't usually wear this much highlighter. I've had to do this take about 20 times, so I'm absolutely caked in it. So once my highlighter's on, I'm going to go in with my powder bronzer. So I'm going to be using the BECCA Bare Light palette. So it's got some really nice shades in with a little bit of a glow to them as well. I'm using the same brush as I used before. I'm going to use the darkest shade, and I'm just going to sort of deepen my cheekbones with that. And I like to use like a pattern motion, and that way it sort of doesn't lift any makeup underneath, it just pats it on really nicely. But since it's the new year, I just thought I would start doing some YouTube videos to get myself a little bit more active on social media, on my Instagram and stuff as well. I've been a little bit lacking on it the past year just because I've been so busy with like all of my businesses. So I just thought, why not add something else in the mix? Why not stress myself out a little bit more? So I did try and do my video yesterday. Hair was curled the lot, was very ready, ended in tears, couldn't do it, too nervous. So that was a good start, but I'm positive I'm gonna do it today, even though each time I'm putting makeup on, I'm putting about 10 layers on just so that I can get the shot done, but we'll get there. So for blush, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Flush Palette. I'm not going to show you it because I've had it for about 5 years and it's embarrassing. But I don't know if they actually still do this anymore, but it's my favourite blusher. It's in the shade Streak, but as I say, I've had it for so long that it might not actually be available anymore, but if it isn't, I'm sure they'll do one sort of similar. It's nice and peachy. And I'm going to pop a little bit on my nose. So I just like to put quite a bit of bronzer and blusher on my nose, just because I feel like that just adds a little bit colour to the face, and it actually works a little bit better for me than contouring sort of the sides and underneath. I feel like it's better for making my nose look a little bit smaller this way. And then finally for my skin, I'm going to powder. So I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Bacon Powder in the shade Pound Cake. Oh, I don't know why that made us laugh. I'm sure pound cake means something rude. I'm gonna Google it. Right, pound cake. It's a sponge cake. I'm just gonna pop pound cake all over my sort of centre of my face. Just anywhere that I'm gonna get oily through the day. I say through the day, and I'm literally just gonna be wearing this makeup for this video, then taking it off. So I finished everything to do with my face, so I'm just going to go away and do one of my eyes and then come back and do the other eye. So I've just went away and completed this eye look. I sort of just made it up as I went along, but it's kind of a little bit purples, pinky, bluey, a little bit of everything. So yeah, I'm just going to do the other eye and show you how I did it. So before I do my eyes, I'm just going to do my brows. I only need to fill them in a little bit because I did do them yesterday. So I'm going to use my Urban Decay Book eyeshadow. I'm just going to use my Cerave winged liner brush, and I'm just going to do sort of little bits at the front of my brow, and then anywhere that my brow's a little bit more sparse, underneath the arch, the tail, and a couple just little bits at the front. Then I'm just going to pop some brow gel in, and I'm using the HD Brows brow gel. I'm just going to pop a little bit just through my full brow just to sort of grab onto those hairs and make them a little bit darker, get rid of any powders or anything like that that's fell in as I've been doing my face makeup. So once that's done, I'm just going to carve my brows out with the concealer that I was using before. So I'm just going to pop a little bit under the brow, and I'm just going to carve that out underneath. So that's my brows done, and I'm going to go in with my eyeshadows now. So the palette that I'm going to be using is the Stacey Carnival XL palette. And I'm just going to pop my darkest shade on first, which was this sort of darker, like pinky burgundy colour. And this is in the shade Reckless. So I'm using the Zoeva Luxe Soft Definer brush, and I'm just going to wiggle my brush on the outer corner, tiny bits at a time, and sort of try and get that nice and full coverage, ready to blend out. So once that's blended out, I'm then going to go in with the same brush again, but a clean one, and I'm going to go in with the shade Foolish mixed with a little bit of the shade Funky. And I'm just going to sort of use that to blend the previous shade out. So I'm just using a really light motion in just little tiny circular motions just to really start to blend that shade out. And I don't really get too much on my brush, I just get little bits at a time. So I'm going to start layering my blue sort of colours on now that that's blended a little bit. And I'm going to be using the shade Why Though on top of my lid with the Smoky Shader brush from Zoeva. And I'm just sort of packing that on, just dead gently. I'm not worried about blending it out just now, I'm just sort of packing it on the lid. And then I'm going to switch to my Luxe Defined Crease Brush just to blend that out. So I'm sort of taking a little bit more and then just buffing it towards like the sort of inner section there under my brow. Once I've laid all the colours down, I'm just going to repeat my steps just to make the colours a little bit more vibrant, to make them pop. So I'm literally just going to go back with the same brushes, same colours in the same places, but just repeating my steps. And this will bring all the colours out. So your first layer works as sort of like a base, and then your second layer is what sort of brings everything out and brings your colours more vibrant. And that's when you can make little tweaks and changes as well to your shape and sort of get it right for your eye. And then again with the brighter pink shade to blend that out. Just blending, dead small sort of motions. And then I'm just packing that sort of bluey colour on again. But I'm actually going to add like another colour now, just to make the blues a little bit more vibrant, and that is the shade Showboat. And I'm just popping that in the middle. So this is more of like a turquoisey sort of brighter shade. So I'm just going to take the smudger brush and I'm just going to pop that across my lash line, just so that my eyelashes can stick on a little bit better. I don't really like using eyeliners on myself, so I usually just put like a little bit of shadow across the lid. So once that's on, I'm going to just highlight my inner corner with the shade Pillow Talk with the Cerave Luxe pencil brush, and I'm just going to sort of do little circular motions again in the inner corner just to brighten that up before I put that little bit of glitter on. For the underneath, I'm going to use the same brush as I did on the top, just so I can get nice and close to the lash line. And I'm just going to bring the colours that I had above underneath as well. So I'm starting with Reckless, just bringing that under, and then I'm going to go in with the blue as well. So I think starting a YouTube channel would be quite interesting to see sort of what looks I can come up with, because I think since I've sort of became less active on Instagram and things like that, I've sort of become a little bit boring with my makeup, and I've been wearing like brown smoky eye every day. Well, I say every day, when I can be bothered to put my makeup on, I put a brown smoky eye on. So it'll be nice to sort of start doing a little bit of colour and looks that are a little bit more fun, and I think it's maybe gonna give us a little bit more inspiration as well when I come to doing like clients makeovers. When I was more active on Instagram, like back in the day, I used to draw like stars on my face, have black lipstick, everything. I used to literally go to work like that. So times have changed. I've definitely got a little bit more boring with my looks, but it'd be fun to sort of see if doing it for like YouTube and Instagram, if that'll make us a little bit more adventurous in real life as well. In real life, you know what I mean. So I'm just using the lighter shades just to sort of buff out those darker shades underneath the eye. I've just realised that I've told you I used to draw stars on my face. You're probably thinking, what is she talking about? I used to draw like little stars around my eyes, nothing like major. And then again, just as I did above, I'm just going to repeat my steps just to bring out the colours a little bit more. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of liner on my waterline, and I'm going to use the Maybelline gel liner and the Cerave detail brush. And I'm just going to pop this in here like so. Little pattern motions until that's like nice and covered. So once it's in the waterline, you want to sort of use your brush underneath the lashes and do like a little sort of wiggle, just to blend it, start to blend it down a little bit. And I'm just going to use my little smudger brush again, and then just sort of wiggle my colours underneath, just to blend the liner out a little bit. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glitter on my inner corner just to spice things up a little bit, and I'm going to be using the NYX glitter primer just to sort of pop there first, just so it sticks. So I'm using the pencil brush again. I'm just going to pop a little bit on the inner corner. And then I'm going to use my Peaches and Cream pigment in the shade Pixie, just a little bit, just to add a little bit of a pinky sort of glitter in the middle. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of mascara on off camera because I pull an ugly face. So for lashes, I'm going to be using the Bulk Lash lashes in the style BFF. So I'm just going to pop those on like so. Right, so that's all of my eyes complete, so I'm just going to pop a lip on now. The lip liner I'm going to be using is the Barry M Russet liner. It's really blunt, but all of my lip pencils are because I don't have a sharpener. So I'm just going to have to deal with it. And then I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Anniversary lipstick. Okay, so that's the finished look. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, wherever it is, I don't know because it's my first video. But anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye! I don't know why that made us laugh. Is pancake something rude?
I'm sure pancake means butt.